If you could talk more about, Professor Ransby, the politics of issues of police brutality, police killings, and how they very much played into this campaign. And ultimately earlier, the dumping of the defeat of Alvarez with the killing of Laquan McDonald, of course, Rahm Emanuel holding back that videotape of the police killing of McDonald right through his reelection. And the fact that Lightfoot, yes, is the head of the Chicago Police Board, and how all these different movements, like the Black Lives Matter movement, all came together around this. And what now Mayor-elect Lightfoot says about issues of police brutality and police violence, since they were so central to this campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to preface my response to your question by saying there are also a set of very related economic issues, because the people who are most vulnerable to police violence in Chicago and elsewhere are poor and working class, primarily Black and secondarily Latinx folks. And so the movement here, I think, has also been very clear about gentrification, issues of rent control, the fact that Black people are being pushed out of the city because of the priciness of the city and the abandonment of services. So all that is the backdrop to the issue of police violence. But you're right, Amy, the Laquan McDonald case was really the pivot of this election in a lot of ways. It was the issue that Rahm Emanuel couldn't run away from, and he couldn't run away from it because of the relentless pressure by a whole network and coalition of organizations, from Black Lives Matter Chicago to Assata's Daughters to Let Us Breathe Collective to Black Youth Project 100. So, so putting the pressure on Rahm not to run, or letting him know that this was going to be the fight of his life if he did run, was part of what shaped the election as it unfolded. Secondly, the movement really confronted Lori Lightfoot when she was in her role as the chair of the police board, and young people confronted her around the Rekia Boyd murder and confronted her around the Laquan McDonald issue during the campaign. There were actually T-shirts that said "Queers Against Lori Lightfoot," which was interesting, and I think eye-catching for a number of people to see that kind of formulation of people saying this is not just about identity, and a lot of that centered around grievances around police accountability. Of course, Lori Lightfoot's a former prosecutor, and many felt much too closely allied with the police, even though the promises she has made are for police accountability and police reform. And so, again, it's a question of pushing and making sure that at least some of those promises are kept and that the movement sustains its momentum.